Hey! Hello, welcome to another Tuesday Tips at 2 with the Goldbergs. I'm Sarah Goldberg, and I want to wish you a happy Cinco de Mayo, even if you're watching this from your home under quarantine. Today we're going to be talking about Trump's immigration ban. Many of you have been stuck at home just like us, and while watching all the news about coronavirus, something that has developed is what's called the Trump immigration ban. Previously, President Trump had issued a different ban called a travel ban or Muslim ban, where individuals from certain countries, mostly Muslim origin countries, those individuals were not allowed to receive visas in order to enter the U.S. Now, more recently, during the coronavirus, one of Trump's reactions to the pandemic is to now halt immigration. It started on April 23rd, 2020, so very recent. Now, what does this ban entail exactly? First off, it prohibits certain individuals who were in line to obtain permanent residence from actually receiving that permanent residence at this time. Who are those individuals? Well, they are 1, parents of U.S. citizens, 2, adult children of U.S. citizens, 3, diversity visa holders, 4, employment-based visas, and it doesn't apply to non-immigrant visas. So that means people who maybe were holders of H-1B visas, they would not be affected by this. And there are many folks who right now are concerned in the H-1B category because that just came into play this past month, where individuals who were being sponsored by their employers for temporary work, they were concerned, can I even get this visa even if I win the lottery for that category? So that hasn't, that it won't apply to them. Also, certain people who are exempt or have an exception to this immigration ban include U.S. citizen, spouse, and children. So if your U.S. citizen spouse is sponsoring you, then you could still obtain permanent residence, and the same applies for a child. Now, what is the definition of a child for immigration terms? That is someone who is under 21 years of age. Also, if you're an EB-5 investor, an investor who is wanting to make a large investment in the United States and obtain permanent residence as a result, you can still get that permanent residence. An individual who was a translator, an Iraqi or Afghani translator that assisted the U.S. Army, that person could still obtain permanent residence, along with an individual who is employed in the medical field, doctor, nurse, someone in that sort of category. If they're obtaining permanent residence based on their employment in that area, then that individual could still get permanent residence. And a person who is deemed by the U.S. government to have a national interest that is important for this country, that person could also obtain it. We've had many phone calls now from our clients who have current cases pending. Now, unfortunately, for example, I've got some clients who it's a permanent resident sponsoring family, spouse, and children. Unfortunately, now with this Trump immigration ban, that person will have to wait at least 60 days, and we'll see what happens with the ban. But for now, the Trump ban says that that person cannot be processed for permanent residence at this time. What about someone who's here in the United States currently with a pending case? For example, a parent who's sponsoring children, and it's a U.S. citizen parent. So that individual, since the case, and this case is happening in the United States, anyone who's applying for permanent residence while in the United States, they'll be able to continue with their case. This ban specifically applies to an individual who is trying to obtain permanent residence while residing outside of the United States. So that's where the ban really hits. Now, during this coronavirus pandemic, it has already been seen that the consulates across the world have been shut down. So someone who was even wanting to apply for a visa at this point, they weren't able to. So does this ban really affect them more so than before? So there are pros and cons to that. On the one hand, someone would say, well, the consulate was closed anyway, so the fact that this isn't being processed right now doesn't really affect you. But on the other hand, the fact that this ban could continue, currently it is at 60 days, and the Secretary of State is supposed to make a recommendation to the President by day 50 as to whether this ban should continue. So even though it's 60 days right now, it could continue for longer, which would definitely severely impact individuals who were right at the moment of possibly obtaining a permanent residence, or were working really hard to get to that point and now they're put at a standstill. If any of you have any questions about that, then please comment, DM us, call us, because we're here, we're ready to help. And just because this immigration ban has come into effect, don't feel like that means there's no options for you available. In fact, I've been telling clients now, hey, if there's any time to apply, why not apply for something now when very few people are out trying to apply for things and immigration is still processing applications. So why not beat the rush and get it done now if you're able to? And with that, I wish that you have a great Cinco de Mayo. Get your groove on, drink a margarita, eat a taco, and enjoy the day. And stay safe out there. So please like, share, and comment to us. We're ready to hear from you, and we'll look forward to speaking to you next time.